Good to see you, Natalie.
Nice to see you too.
Take it away. I'm just curious about Carla. What's kind of her status? Do you expect her to be available tonight, or what's going on?
Yeah, she looks good. It'll be a game time decision. Yeah, she looks really good.
Obviously, last game, Janelle and Chachi kind of getting their feet under them. I feel like we've asked you this so many times.
Yeah.
I feel like the balance of like getting those rotations right and everyone in.
Yeah.
Do you feel a little more comfortable after last game knowing what you have?
Yeah, just because again, I was talking to both of them. I'm like, how do you actually feel?
Yeah.
So today they're just like finally feel, back to normal. So that was good. And like a couple days ago, it wasn't there, but I still was like,
Yeah.
hey, let's see what we got. Like, let's see how you guys can. So yeah, I understand that's a learning process for me.
Yeah.
And so I said, hey, you guys just be patient with me as well.
Learning that Kayla was an all-star, what went through your mind?
You said Kayla. I'm like,
I know Katie, I'm sorry,
like,
Katie.
Well deserved. So happy for her. I actually got chills when I found out, because especially with KT, like we weren't aiming for that, right? That wasn't a goal. It was just, hey, let's be authentically you. And what I loved about KT as, she kept hitting like almost like game winners. She's like, I'm just constantly, wanting to show up and just be myself. And if you heard that, it was the same answer over and over again. So now she's in an organization, in a setting where she's loved, she's cared about, and we're also pushing her to build that leadership role. And so for her to just step in, but it actually really is her. Casey's probably just never had that opportunity to be herself and flourish in, the abilities that she showed. She's always guarding the top offensive player. So having that, but at the same time, she's closing games. That's huge. So very, obviously excited for her and both of them.
Do you have any memories of watching Tip play here? Or I guess maybe what did you know about like her reputation when she played here all these years, or just anything that comes to mind when you think of Tip in the Dream?
I'm gonna be honest, because I was in the NBA.
Yeah, so you really tapped in.
Yeah, why, you got some for me?
No, I was just curious if there was anything that came to mind.
I mean, I can imagine she was feisty. She was probably talking some ish if I had to, because she's so competitive. So I can imagine for us to Tip, when KT isn't guarding the top player, she's guarding the top player, so they rotate. So yeah, just her feistiness defensively, ability to take charges, so she'll sacrifice her body, and then she could score on all three levels whenever she wants.
Biggest challenge that Atlanta poses?
Bigs,
yeah,
obviously. Having BG and Brianna Jones, former All-Stars. So really they have 4 All-Stars on their team with Ryan Howard and Alicia Gray. So obviously not like discrediting any of that. We know what we're about to face. A lot of talent. And then Jordan Canada is playing really well. So again, just heavy hitters that we're going to hit, but we're going to try our best and play our style.
How do you defend someone like BG when you just physically don't have someone that size?
Yeah, well, she's brutal right around the rim. So we just got to make sure, we push her out on her catches. Just forcing her into her shots that she doesn't want to take. And then, on the other end, run. Our advantage is our pace, our speed. So we'll use that to our advantage.
You guys have talked so much about having players be themselves, like KT all year. That's like everyone is saying. And I think it was KT you were saying earlier this year took a minute to like come out of her shell a little bit and just kind of like have her open up.
Yeah.
When you are telling players like be yourself, how long do you think it takes for them to like believe that? Like you need that? Like do you think that's like a process of that like actually sinking in for them?
If I had a timeline, I would probably be a millionaire or a billionaire. No, I think what it is about like that first meeting from myself with KT, but also my coaching staff. Like I said, I have a coaching staff that has really big hearts.
Yeah.
And as you guys get to know them and you guys, write some stories on them, you're going to see the authenticity that they bring. And I think from day one, we were, like I said, we danced, we made a fool of ourselves because we're just like, hey, because we want you guys to be yourself. So I think that kind of set the tone. And I said, look, this is a safe space for you. And I want you to fail and make mistakes as much as possible. So I think setting that standard was good. But, give credit to Sydney Parsons. She worked really closely with KT, kind of really leaning on like her shooting form and working on her mechanics. Sugar also worked really close with her. So I got to give credit to my staff. They are just great people that bring the best out of players.
This one word about the players coming back to Eurobasket and everything. How long does it take for them to get back into your style of play? Is there an adjustment there? Do you see any habits picked up that's different in the way you want to play and have to like get that back on track or anything?
Well, I think it was just emotional roller coaster, like I said, because with Chechi, they passed their expectations, right? So she came back glowing. Where, John, like, let's be real, John, on the other hand, didn't. And so she came back a little frustrated. So with that, I can't be in John's head and I can't be in Chechi's head, other than
Yeah.
like, you're here, we welcome you. And so I think it was more the mental aspect
Yeah.
as I saw them try to get adjusted to USA time.
Mhm.
On top of, I'm sure Chechi celebrated, I'm sure John didn't celebrate, you know, so everyone's individually different and I just gotta give them their space and, you know, I just wait.
That question from the next, is Temmie, do you think, back to 100 after her return?
But you gotta ask, I think you have to ask Temmie that, to be honest, but I felt Temmie, because we actually gave her a little bit more time. She had a little bit more time than, you know, the other two, so I think that helped, you know, and Chechi too is more of like rim runner, all heart, all physicality, where like John and Chechi have to have a rhythm and work depending on their scoring.
Yeah.
Those completely different players. But I love the challenge of doing it, and I think just paying attention, and for me, just kind of like writing a little journal on how they are day to day, I think it's kind of cool.
It's probably a better question for post game, but when you like look at that arena and like it's way less, I think it's 4,000 people that are
Yeah.
gonna be here, but
Yeah.
they're right on top of
Oh,
you.
yeah.
How difficult is that?
It's not difficult, it's actually fun because it's like a club that they play like hip hop throughout the game, and they have you'll see it, they're gonna be doing this wave during timeouts. And so yeah, it's just a different, you know, hostility, but you just gotta embrace it, flip it, either, you know, like I said, block it out or act like they're cheering for you.